What up? What up? Hey,
What up, dog?
oh, see, you ain't even got your normal intro, man. You're supposed to be attentive and ready to go whenever the cameras turn on.
Man, you think you Skip Bayless or somebody, man? Child, please.
Okay, Uncle Shay. But welcome back to episode 3 of the Road to Championship series. Oh man, I think we've been pretty hot lately. The guests we've been having coming on and firing, and I think we got another one this week that's gonna up the ante just a little bit more, right? So we had bikini, we had bodybuilding, and now we got a wellness competitor. And shout out to all our wellness competitors out there who said we'd be missing out on y'all. So we got y'all today. So I hope I do this person some justice with the introduction. It's gonna be short, sweet, but
you
then
about to chop it up, but go ahead.
about to chop it up. You about to chop it up. But so we got a fairly new wellness competitor, man, that y'all need to watch out for. Fairly new, you know. Okay. Got a year in the game, but
1 year.
1 year. But the thing about these competitors,
that's 12 months, ain't it? 12 months on it.
52 weeks. 52 weeks, brother. But the one thing about these wellness competitors and the competitors we had on lately, when they come on the scene, they do it big. They win a championship series their first year. You know, it took me about 5 years to do that. She took less than 12 months. So she coming in the game, knocking heads off. We're going to give y'all a quick clip of what she looked like. Ooh. But we got Gabby coming to the stage. Let's go ahead and take this off. What's up?
Hey, thank you so much for the breakdown of my year, month, week. Yeah, thank you so much. It's my honor to be on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us.
So we made that very long. We tried to make 12 months, a span, made it sound very big, but what you accomplished is major and shouldn't be overlooked, right? Because kind of like said briefly, like it took me 5 years to even win a championship show. Like it took me a very long time. And for you to do that in the first year of competing is major. So how did you get into bodybuilding? Well, first, introduce yourself, just so people know the background about you too.
My name is Gabby. Full name is Gabriela, but everyone calls me Gabby. And I'm a women's wellness bodybuilder. I'm sorry that came out so awkward. I was trying to figure out should I introduce my employment or should I just do my wellness? I was about to be I work for State Farm. I was we don't care about that. So anyways, I am a women's wellness professional bodybuilder, and I've just been doing it. I hit my 1 year anniversary in April. I live in Florida, and that's me. That's who I am. And I got started in bodybuilding, honestly, by accident. I wasn't looking to be a bodybuilder at all. I will always, maintain the same story. I had went out with a group of friends to celebrate a birthday party. And we were at brunch, and they took a picture, and I had a shorter dress on. And I remember looking at my thighs in that picture, and I saw a cellulite on the bottom, and I was just oh my God, I can't go out like this. Not in my 20s. I can't do that. And so I went to the gym on a Saturday at I think maybe 10. And I saw, Showtime Keith he saw me doing some shoulders, and he asked me if he was you bodybuild? And I was no, I don't. And he was well, you should think about it. And so I entered my first natural bodybuilding competition in bikini, and then he was you should really think about wellness. And I was I don't know, bikini's more my thing. And I ended up not placing in bikini, and this is all as an amateur, and I ended up placing second in wellness for the Showtime Classic.
History was made that day. Okay.
Yeah. But But just like to give like an even more backstory, like 3 years, well, actually, this was in 2019. In 2019, I did one brief, like just kind of because all my friends that were at my gym were doing it, show for NPC bikini. And I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't really have a coach. I didn't have a posing coach. Once again, did not place. So like my first, like, I guess official show was in 2019 at an NPC show where I did horribly. And then from there, after COVID, I stopped going to the gym. And like actually like my first time back in the gym was literally like in 2023 January, because I redid my membership. That's so embarrassing. I shouldn't have said that. Well, it's out there.
What you got, Jamal?
Oh, I thought you had a question for her. But anyways, guess you don't. So you first came on the scene last year. You did the Showtime Classic, as you just said, you got second. Then you went on and you did Florida Pro. That's when me and Eric actually seen you, because we was at that show. We didn't know anything about you. But
Okay.
the thing I remember telling Eric, I was like, yo, her stage presence is like top notch. And I think that's what draws everybody in, is your stage presence. So how did you develop that confidence? Like you said, but this was maybe your second show. So how did you already have that confidence to go on stage and just show out like that?
You know, it's really actually funny that you say that, because I had no idea at all that I had that stage presence that people tell me about. And when I actually came off of the stage, I didn't even like really remember what happened up there. Like my friends were showing me the videos back. My good friend Wally, she was showing me, she's like, you look so good. Look what you did up there. And I was like, I did that? So like, honestly, I believe in God, and I 100% believe that like he just kind of I just kind of like pray before I step on stage, and I just kind of like, whatever happens, because as an individual, I'm not really like that. Like I don't like to command a room. If I have to, I will, but I'd rather just kind of be a little bit more reserved. I do like little things, like I do like to like listen to certain songs, like specific kind of music depending on how I'm feeling while I'm posing. And I do have a gymnastics and cheerleading and dance background, so I do like, expressions, like art form expressions through your body, but it was never something that I was intentionally trying to bring to the bodybuilding stage.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. So after obtaining your pro card, and of course, there's so many different routes you can take. A lot of people take time off. Some people say, I'm going to jump into a regular show. So what was your decision into going into Mr. America and going for such a, a big title or a big show like that?
So honestly, I didn't even, so my coach was kind of deciding which shows I should do. And I had actually told him this at Mr. America, because he had said that like I was one of his few clients and like in a long time that has actually like consistently done, the shows throughout the season. And I had told him like I didn't know that I could say no. I thought I just was like, okay, you tell me I'm gonna do the show, I'm gonna do the show. Like I just thought that's how it went. So whenever he said like, hey, you need to do the show next, I'm like, okay. And I just kind of went from there. Like I didn't even have my sights on Mr. America. Like I didn't even, there was a huge chance that I wasn't even gonna go actually, because it was the very day, it was the day before the show that I did in Mexico. And I was kind of like, they asked me like, do you want to do Mr. America or do you want to do the show for North, Central, and South America? And I was like, oh, do I have to pick? And I ended up doing that wild decision of doing both. So it's just kind of how that went.
Absolutely. So of course you are the first, I guess we can call it Miss America for wellness. How was that feeling? And is there any pressure, if you are going back this year, is there any pressure on defending that title?
So It felt when I won, and you can kind of see from the videos, I was 100% crying when I won. Because for me, it wasn't just a, like a physical experience, it was a spiritual experience, because I had kind of felt beforehand, like almost like 3 months beforehand. It was actually maybe a little less than that. Right. So like it was soon, like a little bit after Fit Fest, which was in August last year. I had kind of like, I had been praying about whether or not I should do the show. And I kind of like felt in my spirit that like I was going to win that show. I felt like that it was going to be my show. And I was just kind of like, okay, like I just kind of believed, okay, yeah, you know what? I'm going to win the show. And it was kind of crazy for me because I went in there thinking like, you know what, this is mine. I'm coming in here, and I'm taking it. And when I was, my friends and family were sending me the playback of the live stream of the Mr. America show. And I remember the commentators were saying like, yeah, definitely Gabby for second. Like, I think like Gabby for second, or like, top 3, like, and they were thinking that another competitor was going to be first. And I remember feeling like that doubt inside me of what I had thought God had told me versus what I'm hearing. And I was like, no, I'm getting first. Like, that's not right. And so when I heard them call my name, it was just kind of like a rush of just like thankfulness, of just kind of like feeling like, God said it and it's done kind of thing. And it feels heavy because, obviously it's a very big, it's a big title now. I know more of how big it is. I didn't even know when it happened of how big it is. And it has caused me a little bit of, not problems, but just more like internal struggles now. But I feel honored then, feel honored now. And, whatever happens in the future, just as long as it's God's will, I'm good with it.
Gotcha. And I think the question that I had in my head kind of is gonna go off of what you just said. And I think I caught I think it was one of your lives or one of your videos that you were talking about almost when you accomplish something like that so fast, right? It's always about, can I top that? Can I do it again? I think you might have used the phrase, but I heard this phrase other people use, like the imposter syndrome, right? Like, am I really this good, or did I really, like, was this really meant for me, right? So how do you overcome that mentality? I think most top athletes always figure like, hey, can I get better? That's the one thing that we always strive to, but bodybuilders, you have to, right? So how do you silence those thoughts and push forward?
So yeah, that's such a great question, because that was a very important like just like little reel for me that I did. And it was really more for me than for trying to tell people anything. But I'm happy that other people heard it as well. The thing that really helped me when I was kind of going through that place, because I really had imposter syndrome, just like from the like almost like 3 days after I won that thing, moving forward, because I had shared it briefly, but like I also started getting a little bit of like social media bullying after that happened. Just like random people in my inbox just started like, just telling me things that that I wasn't good enough and blah blah blah. And it was actually like Goob YouTube or something. He exposed one of them, and I was like, yes. It's like, God is so good. Yes. And so what I realized like in my quiet time was that me feeling like, how am I going to sustain this? How am I going to, top this? God very loudly like told me, I don't know what you think you did to sustain it before. Like, I sustain you. You continue like trusting in me and doing your part, which is showing up for your diet, showing up for your exercises, showing up for like your mental space and your rest, and I will continue sustaining you. So that was really what kind of helped me because it really took the pressure off of me. I was feeling like, how am I supposed to like maintain this image per se? And it's like, there is nothing. It's just do what I've called you to do.
Absolutely. And just to piggyback on something you said, like when you're coming up in the ranks, like people want to see you do good. But once you reach the top of that mountain, like everybody can't wait till you fall. And that's one of the things that, I've dealt with personally. Everybody's cheering for you when you're climbing up. But as soon as you get up there, they're like, okay, it's time for you to fall. Hurry up and fall, hurry up and fall. So as an athlete, that's a mental aspect we got to get past too. So I know you've done a couple shows. Things didn't go your way. How did you get past that? And what was your mental like going through that process?
Yes. So I did 2 OCB shows where I was trying to get my pro card, and I got really close twice. And those are the shows I'm going to talk about. I don't really want to talk about some other shows because I think there's politics involved in some other shows, but specifically those OCB shows. And mainly because I felt like that was like the most hurt to me. Because I was just like, I think I came in with a sense of pride, like I'm already a pro. This should be easy, like this should be a cakewalk. And it didn't end up being like that. And it just kind of, it made me re-examine myself, like just because you win one show doesn't mean you're going to win another show. Just because you meet the criteria in this organization doesn't mean you meet it in this organization. And me particularly, I have a smaller build up top. And some of the feedback that I had received in the first OCB show was that, actually in both of them, was that, I needed to build up my upper body and that the lower body was fine. And that is just like one of those things where, you just also as an athlete have to examine, is the criteria meeting what I want from my own look as well? Because what OCB wants in their wellness pros is 100% different than what NGA wants, which is different than what, USBF might want. And, you got all these different organizations that are not on the same page. So it was one of those things. And it's honestly like, it was humbling. And I honestly feel like, sometimes it's good to be humbled because it keeps you grounded.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you was able to, kind of talk us through that, because there are some people, they try a different organization, and if they don't get in, they point the fingers at that organization. Oh, like, oh no, it's politics and yada yada yada. So I'm glad you kind of could take some kind of, I'm not gonna say accountability, but admit, I was coming here, I was already a pro, and I thought I was gonna get my pro card, and it wasn't that easy. So
Yeah, and I have and kind of with that, and I'm glad you hit on that because that's one thing that a lot of new competitors don't understand. Like, there's not a one size fit all for every organization. There's some physiques that very well translate from organization to organization, and then there's some where that they really don't. And I kind of want to go back to what we were talking about a little bit earlier about how like your mental space and things of that nature. And like Jamal said, he goes through it. Like, the 2 nuggets I got for that is there's a lot of people who want to see you succeed, but there's not a lot of people that want to see you do better than them. And me and him both went through that, and we talked about it behind, like had countless conversations on that. And then like one of the things of mentally that I had to go through was I was just like, yo, everybody who says something bad about me, I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm prove them wrong, right? But then I realized I'm focusing on this one negative comment when I have this whole team behind me that's supporting me. So I had to flip that whole conversation. It's just like, I'm going to prove all my supporters right. I don't care who I got to prove wrong. So ending with that, what is one thing, whether it's mentally, spiritually, anything that you can give to these people who are gearing up for these championship shows that comes from Gabby, that can get them through their prep, advice, anything you got for them?
Oh, wow. What a great question. I did not prepare for. I guess I would say, as you're preparing for, this big like this big feat that it's about like FEAT, just so everyone's aware, not the other feet. As you're preparing for this, don't let doubt and don't let fear and don't let essentially like your flesh, like your body, tell you that you're weak or that you're not good enough or it's not worth it, because that always happens right before you're about to essentially like take it all. Like don't give in to that when you're right at the finish line, because essentially like what we're halfway through July, almost August, we're in championship season. So just stay the course, keep praying and it'll happen.
Absolutely. All right, I'm gonna ask you 3 questions to close us out, and we're gonna get you out of here because we know you're a busy woman.
Okay.
Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Yep.
Is that what you asked me? See, this is where I said you might not like my answers. I like Kid Lee.
That wasn't an option.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You were not gonna like the answers.
Taylor Swift or Beyonce?
Oh my gosh. Neither. A book.
All right, give us one wellness competitor you'll love to stand on stage with.
Oh wow. There's so many great wellness competitors. Okay. Just because we have been like exchanging memes for almost like 6 months and she's so funny. I would really love to stand on stage with Constance, Fit Miss Coco, because I just love her personality. Like we don't even have to like be competing. I just want to see her bust it low one time.
That's funny. There you have it, folks. Gabby.
Thank you for joining us, and catch us next week. Well, let's talk about it. See you.